carry the boats and the logs, 'cause they're turning them old frogs gay. Or maybe they're born this way. Pull up a chair, sit right there, brush your teeth and comb your hair, 'cause they're turning them old frogs gay. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Welcome back after a brief hiatus. We were
1 week off.
overseeing, was that not clicked in? 1 week off. Apologies. We're missing Joe for the Gopher today. He's gone back underground.
Jofer.
He's digging tunnels. He's subterranean at the moment, but we're back here. We took a hiatus to negotiate peace deals between Russia and Ukraine while overseeing Operation Spiderweb.
Operation Spiderweb. You know my nickname was Spider in the military? I went by Spider.
No.
I'll throw up a pic.
That never happened.
Yeah, for sure.
Why?
Name was Spider.
Why?
It's my alter ego when I got drunk as hell and played poker.
Did you guys do a lot of poker?
Yeah, played a lot of poker, I guess. People got really into poker or were into poker, and been people that don't play poker, hence me, got into it.
Liquor in the front, poker in the rear?
It's a Rand Johnson joke.
Yes, it is.
It's fun to do because it's fun. Obviously, you can have a couple drinks and beginner's luck. So I would actually win sometimes, or
Texas
usually get
Hold'em?
second.
Hold'em?
Yeah, I think once or twice I got second. And I'm not good enough to get first because I don't know how to.
I can recall a poker wave that kind of swept through my neighborhood, and probably kind of a cultural moment for poker in like the early 2000s. I think it was starting to become televised. They put poker on TV, and I remember being like 13, and we would, like, in the summer, like, multiple neighbors had like the fold out poker table thing you put on top of the table.
Yeah.
And we would play poker. I don't know why.
In 2000, so you were
probably
in
like
intermediate school?
Probably like 05, 06. Yeah, around 6th, 7th grade, 8th grade.
It's it really is a fun, relaxing time if you got a poker table.
Yeah.
And bring by the dads.
I'd like to get some poker going.
Married men, chat. I don't know. I don't think any of us smoke cigars, but that would be a fun thing to try to do.
I don't know if I'll ever be a cigar guy.
I'm unable to be anything smoke related. So
you don't like the smell?
It's not like it. I do. It's like I think I was born with some sort of sensation in my throat to where it just does not allow
get super irritated.
Anything to go down. Any sort of smoke, vape, nothing.
Didn't your grandpa chief cigarettes like crazy?
What's chief mean?
Like toke?
What's
partake? Smoke them?
Chief toke. No, I'm sure
he was a
maybe
cigarette smoker.
No, he was a drinker.
Oh, drinker, yeah.
No, he didn't smoke. My dad hated smoking.
Oh, that's right.
My grandpa didn't smoke. My grandma smoked that I'd never met. Anyway.
Yeah, you've been anti-smoking, anti-tobacco for as long as I can remember. I remember, Talia, you coming across a pack of your 15-year-old sister's cigarettes and putting all 20 cigarettes in your mouth until she saw you.
I'll throw that picture up too. I got it. Yeah, it was weird. I think I was just getting into boot camp. I just got out of boot camp and came home, and Tall was running amok, just smoking cigarettes.
I feel like cigarette smoking, we could look at the statistics, but I feel like it's waning, at least in this country. Like, I feel like the war on big tobacco is curtailing. But then again, I do work at a busy hot spot for the youth in the evening, and there's a lot of people out there smoking cigarettes. A lot of kids, young people.
Well, it might.
I think it's to be cool.
It might come back as now the new edgy thing to do. Like it used to be like not cool. Like why are you ruining your health and smoking? That's disgusting. And now everyone got into Zins and vapes. And now it's like, oh, if you're the guy with cigarettes at an event and people are buzzing and you were the guy with the cigarettes or girl, you're now the edgy freaking cool person.
I think it'll always be a point of rebellion for kids that graduate high school around that age to be like, oh, no one's telling me what to do anymore. Well, watch, I'm going to do all the things that I was told not to do.
Maybe that's just the way all age groups work, because like now we're mid-30s and we think that all these things aren't true anymore, to where kids are getting out of high school and maybe remember when everyone's getting out of high school and everyone thinks it's cool to smoke cigarettes. Maybe that's like that right now, but we're just not in that age group. You're probably we don't know. Maybe they're all smoking still.
France just banned. They love their cigarettes in France, the French. They banned cigarettes in like tons of public spaces for the first time. I had read that. That's a big deal for them. But
public spaces?
Yeah, like parks and if you're near a school or a church or stuff like that, I believe. And the French probably don't like that. But Europe is overall leaning towards a more totalitarian state these days, so it's par for the course.
We always talk about Europe when we're on. It's just you and me. I like the shoes, by the way.
Thank you.
I want to check. Can you do one more? Just say, hi, I'm Cole.
Hi, I'm Cole.
All right, check 1, 2.
Check.
All right, guys. Sorry, just want to make sure the audio was still working. This is it's a one-man crew here.
No producer,
songwriter, audio technician, gaffer. I kind of do it all, editing.
Key grip.
I
do blame, it's pretty evil now that I think about it. I was just talking to somebody about this.
Evil.
Where when we would go to the clubs in Hollywood when we were super young out of high school, where we saw DJ Sonny Moore for the first time, who later became Skrillex, and
God bless.
And, those seminal moments of the late 2000s
Disgusting.
and early 2010s, there would be Camel cigarette reps there, and they would have like a satchel full of all kinds of really enticing new cigarettes. It's when like the Crush things first started coming out.
Yeah.
And
I remember you guys telling me that.
Yeah. And they would walk up to you and you would give them your ID and they would swipe it, would probably get all your freaking information and probably, verify you're 18.
Sell it to China.
And then they would give you 2 packs of cigarettes. And then some nights there'd be a Camel and a freaking Marlboro guy there. And you would get 4 packs of cigarettes for free.
Pay for it or
no, they
for
just
free?
give it to you. And they know that you're young and at a club and you're vulnerable, and they're like, let's make
Entice them to come in.
Let's get some new, generational generational clients.
Yeah.
Let's get these kids hooked on cigarettes now for free. Probably the only thing that's stopping them from smoking is they're broke and they can't afford them. Let's give them cigarettes, get them hooked on our brand. And now we're going to have somebody buying Camels for the next 50 years until they die. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. If you remember when we went to Hawaii, in the security line, James and Jackson and I, we all took like 10 packs of cigarettes each out of our bag, and they had to like look at them. And all those cigarettes were free that we had gotten at Cinespace in LA.
When was this? When we went to Hawaii, you said?
When we went to Hawaii.
Wow, you brought all the cigarettes.
Yeah, we brought like 10 brand new packs of cigarettes each because we got them all for free. It's crazy.
I just don't. I wish I knew what it felt like to enjoy smoking a cigarette. Because I don't get it. I don't understand. It's just sitting there, and then you got a bunch of smoke. Doesn't it hurt the lungs? Does it make you feel good?
Yeah, it sucks. Not really. You can get a really nice head buzz. I wouldn't say nice, but you can get a buzz where you feel kind of just like lightheaded. Like,
is it nice having the flavor in your mouth?
No,
is that
no?
What's
it's just
nice about
it's just addictive. That's the bottom line. It's not even, holding it.
The
becomes part of the addiction. The behavior, the ritual of it becomes part of the addiction. Like if you smoke and you drink coffee, you can't have coffee without a cigarette. Somehow they go together.
Yeah.
If you always had a cigarette after you went surfing, like after you're exhausted, like that becomes like when you're in the waves or at the
Can't
skateboard,
wait for it.
you're just like, yeah, I'm going to do my thing. Or even driving with a cigarette. It just becomes part of this thing where you think you have to have it, but really it's just the nicotine that's keeping you going. If there's no nicotine in cigarettes, nobody would be smoking really.
Because even what's more addictive, you think, cigarettes or Zins? Or like
that's a good question.
little packs.
Probably cigarettes because of like the ritualistic aspect that I described.
Opening the pack, getting the lighter,
packing it down, the whole thing.
Putting sunscreen on.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It's if you're outside.
So,
damn. Would you say you were addicted to cigarettes at one point in your life?
I guess I was. I mean, you knew me as a guy that would always have cigarettes for a few years, but it was not some big thing to quit. It wasn't difficult. I just stopped. I started dating Macy, and she's like, that's gross. My mom, she doesn't anymore, but my mom smokes, and I hate it, so don't do that. It's not good for you. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. This is stupid. And I think I just stopped, and I never really did it again.
How old?
I was probably smoking my heaviest cigarette usage time period would have been the CVS working days when we worked there together.
Oh, that's right.
And
I think I'm really far back.
So that would have been like 2010 to 2012 probably, which is, quite a ways back now that you think about it.
2010.
Here we are in 2025. Global conflicts on the rise. UAP disclosure imminent. Kash Patel lying through his teeth on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Do you think it's Kash Patel lying through his teeth, or he just doesn't know he's given all the information and someone else is lying to him, hence a Bondi type?
So you think Bondi is an agent of disinformation?
I'm saying maybe. Maybe she's the plant. She's implanted in there. She's been blackmailed, coerced, whatever, and she's giving false information for freaking Kash.
Honestly, don't know what to think anymore.
Kash seems like a pretty stand-up guy.
I think
I couldn't imagine him.
I think the confusion is all orchestrated and by design. Like I think the government and the media's attempt to just basically overwhelm us with information, but at the same time, all of that information leading nowhere, as well as exhaust us and regarding the Epstein thing, like just create so many fractured theories and paths you can follow on where you think the information is going to ultimately lead, that everyone's just going to give up and not care. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But there's no way that there is not like tapes. She said that they recovered like 10,000 hours of tapes.
Little kids, yeah.
Of all sorts of stuff. And he's on there saying that they don't have anything incriminating. It's like, how is that possible? It cannot be possible. The guy...
I don't think he said there's nothing incriminating, technically.
He's like, don't you think if we had a guy or gal on tape doing something that you would know about it? It's like, no, I don't think that for a second. Yeah. I don't think for a second that the FBI is so virtuous that they would just let the world know what they're in possession of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. The guy was definitely a Mossad agent or had some ties to the Mossad and was running a blackmail scheme. Like, I'm pretty confident in that. It's obvious. Even from the, it's so redundant now. We've probably already talked about this a lot, but even from like the paintings in his house and stuff. Like, it's basically a billboard. That painting of Clinton in the dress or George Bush playing with the toy airplanes, that's like a billboard for I'm your daddy. Like, you guys think you're the leaders of the free world. I can make or break you at any moment. Crazy.
Yeah. What's I just don't know. I just always think about why aren't they saying anything? I just want to know why. And there's a few reasons. Like always, one of them, they're all compromised.
They're all compromised
by whoever's in charge. That's one of them. Two is if they let the public know, the public's going to rebel. They're afraid the public's going to rebel against the government or the CIA or Israel with everything going down right now, and they're afraid people are going to go times 1,000
because
if they find out what's going
on.
on.
Regarding Epstein and the Mossad or Israel is highly implicated, what public backing they have still in this conflict, the United States, regarding Israel and Gaza, they probably lose.
Same with 9/11.
80%
Imagine
of it.
if actual stuff came out about 9/11, like true, the actual. I mean, I think it's all probably burnt by now, but if actually true stuff came out,
everyone's
I think
image.
people would. At this point, it's been so long. I think people would just be like, "Dang, that freaking sucks." But you know what? I love America and don't like the people that screw around at the top levels to make things sketchy happen. But I think the CIA, the government, would freak out that there's going to be some big like anti-America. Like, everyone's going to panic and revolt against America. I've heard CIA guys say about that. They're like, "Why don't you tell the American public all the stuff you guys do?" He's like, "They're not ready to hear it." And it's like, dude,
the public image.
we're chilling, man.
The public image of this nation in the eyes of its people would be shattered, I think.
I mean, me personally, no. But to some people, yeah, to some people that
are
so oblivious to what might be going on, maybe it's shattered.
I'm not saying I believe this, but if there was disclosure that on the most extreme level, 9/11 was orchestrated by our government.
By the CIA, yeah, by the CIA.
You don't lose a little bit of faith in the country?
There's already faith lost, I think. I already think things have happened, done. And I don't think the country itself has done that. I don't think the Constitution has done that. I think there's people that are psychopaths, narcissistic, geniuses, brilliant, that get into power, become obsessed with power, think they're smarter and better, and think they know more than the people elected to office, and they think they can do it and run it themselves, and they think that they're doing a good thing by saving the world and saving the people.
Yeah.
So they just make things happen
and do things. I don't know
if
they think that they're doing a good thing. If those,
I think some think, some don't care.
Fringe things have any truth to them. But what's important, and I'm not saying I'm like highly intelligent or a nuanced thinker, but when I picture my country in my head, it's the people.
This is when we need Jofer to really
I know.
settle us back down.
It's the people that make
Sorry, guys. Jofer's gone.
The people that make up the country, the laborers, the farmers, the families, like that's who this country is. And I detach that from the bureaucrats and the politicians that the more layman person might conceptualize as their overall country. I don't know. That probably doesn't make sense.
I heard farmers. I heard bureaucratic.
Like, my country is basically baseball and hot dogs. It's not the military and
Bankers
Washington, D.C. I don't know.
I know nothing. Yeah, imagine all the parts of the country. We'd have zero idea how they are, how they live, what they're like. I've become obsessed. I don't know why. I got out of the military, and I'm just obsessed with podcasts and freaking interviews now and, like, watching things. I used to never really do that when I was in, because it's like you're doing your job and you're doing other things. Now you're out, and I'm like...
You're goal-oriented and you're mission-oriented, and you're not allowing yourself the mental capacity to, like, pursue different thoughts and ideas because you're just...
There's no need. There's no time for me, really.
Your boots on the ground.
I mean, I was also partying so hard. That was probably it. I just like, who cares?
Yeah.
I'm going out. Or I'm like, we're about to do a training thing or whatever. Now I'm like, I'm studying podcasts because we're doing a podcast. I'm trying to make it better and better. And
We're going to have an interesting...
Wait, hold on a little bit. And then...
There he is.
Oh,
There he is. Turn the camera around. Show the people.
Guys, this is egregious. And
This
you know
is
what we were just talking about.
This... I'm going to call the bomb squad now to investigate this package. This has to be a dirty bomb.
And the reason I say that... Oh, don't tell me what it is. What's up, brother? Morning. You can just leave it right there. Thanks, man. It's the David bars.
The David bars. Oh, wow. Thank you, David. They knew what time we were going to pod, and they dropped off their sponsorship package.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Show the people. We got
Thanks,
the David bars
Bar.
with some cryptic numerology on it. I wonder what this means. The numerology tape.
Scary.
28-150. David. Boom! Just kidding.
Oh my gosh, forgot the thin layer of not det cord. Oh, it's flat. It's an explosive. Not det sheet? Is it det sheet? Military guys, is it det sheet? I can't remember the damn name.
The thing
Let me know.
You drag away from the...
No, it's like C4. I think it's like C4, but like flat. It looks like a thin piece of paper, and you can like roll it and...
And it explodes?
Yeah. It's like det sheet or
Sick.
something. Oh my God, I can't remember the name. Bummer. Anywho.
I was going to say, we're going to have an interesting Saturday in this country, I feel. June 14th. Trump is organizing...
Sandbag Saturday?
Well, in D.C., it's going to be the largest, show of force or military exposition and parade I think this country's ever had.
Is that the one like Tim Kennedy was like
promoting
on his like,
yes.
and everyone's giving him a lot of hate because his green beret looked really bad or something?
Yes,
like that?
yes.
He was like,
they're going to have
he was on coke or something.
tanks and fighter jets, and I think it's kind of. I guess Trump said we're celebrating our World War II victory because we never had a celebration, so he's doing it. I mean, it's something crazy.
Nuts. The bomb.
But
boom.
But it's very Soviet or North Korean-esque to do, I think. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it's just a nice.
That's the thing
day.
That scares me again is why can't we celebrate, and why the second you celebrate your nation you're looked at as a damn freaking crazy communist dictatorship.
There's a quote from Eisenhower, Roosevelt, Truman, one of these guys. I'm going to try and find it really quick about this exact thing where he says essentially that you'll never see our nation doing this because
celebrating death.
No, it's not even celebrating death. It's like we are the preeminent force in the world. Everybody already knows it.
No need to celebrate.
No need to do this because we're already the man, and the countries that do it are just posturing and flexing to try and show that they're competing. Like when North Korea, Kim Jong-un stands there and all the guys are doing the high kicks and they put a freaking bomb down there. Pyongyang.
Hype up the people.
Yeah. It's like,
maybe the leaders think it's what the country wants and
like the
what
media,
makes you look strong.
The media is painting it as a dictator style military parade.
But in reality, they're just trying to hype up the people.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's very on par for Donald Trump to do something like this. Just, show he's got the biggest balls in the world and flex and whatever, but I don't know. But anyways, that's going on, and with all the chaos, especially in Los Angeles caused by the recent ICE raids and stuff, there is a No King's Day, I believe is what they're titling it, protest, which is obviously more than likely going to turn into utter chaos on Saturday in cities all across the country as well.
Kings? What do you mean kings?
Well,
no kings?
I guess it's called No King's Day. Like it's anti-authoritarian. No kings, no rulers. It's probably going to start off in the morning as lawful protesting, which American citizens have every right to do. But I would imagine it's going to end in looting, burning, fires, rubber bullets, tear gas, arrests.
Rubber bullets.
Because, yeah. I was coming
LA,
home.
right? LA?
Well, LA's crazy right now.
And you're in Long Beach. Are you seeing it in Long Beach?
I'm not seeing. Well, I think down at the courthouse and stuff, people are starting to congregate and whatever. But
are there looting websites to where you can like sign in and be like, "Hey, where are we looting today?" How do they all know where to go and loot and join forces? Everyone seems to congregate.
I think there's just masses of people in the streets, and the second anybody hears a window break, it becomes hive mind, and people just climb on in there and take a rack of Takis or a bunch of Funko Pops or whatever the hell they can grab.
Bunch of nail polish.
Yeah.
Freaking damn women's.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw the truck pull up and then start handing out masks to people, like the hard masks to protect their face.
There's some interesting stuff going on regarding that. I haven't looked too much into it, but
I mean, you could just you can go down the conspiracy rabbit hole. Oh, it was planted by the FBI and done this and that, and the FBI has plants and they have agents.
George Soros.
They do hire people that are like out in the street, but I'm like, or it's just a freaking retard that went on Amazon and bought 1,000 masks.
Yeah,
and
yeah. It could be some nonprofit
and thinks they're like a V for Vendetta person.
Immigrants' rights nonprofit thing, and they have money, and they're just who knows where those masks are coming from. There was an interesting video I saw. It's right near downtown where I drive sometimes to get to work. I can't remember. It was on Temple and something. Big building where everybody's at protesting at night, and this guy films. He's like, "What's up with this? What's going on here?" It's downtown LA. Obviously, it's super industrial, but there's like a chain link fence in this parking lot surrounding like giant industrial like Home Depot bags of like river rock and big stacks of cinder block. And that was an accusation that was thrown around in the 2020 George Floyd protests and subsequent riots, where people would say that they were seeing just like a pallet of bricks just on the corner and stuff like that. Like, that's a
little weird.
That's weird. Is that, if you want to look at that as a nefarious pallet of bricks and not just something left from a construction worker or something, then you have to think, is that planted by the side of the protesters that want to entice more chaos and cause more disruption to society? Or is that planted by the police or the military or the National Guard to turn or help aid in turning a peaceful protest unpeaceful, so then they have the excuse to make arrests, use more lethal force? It could go either way. Like, nobody knows,
Never know.
If in fact that those heavy objects were planted in the first place.
Well, what we do know is they were planted by someone who was forklift certified.
Yes.
So that is the only true fact that we do know.
Take our forklift certification course, link in bio.
Forklift certification
8-day course.
We should imagine our first sponsor being a forklift certification licensee program.
I don't think I know anybody that's forklift certified.
I think I was almost forklift certified one time. I was a new guy. It was 2015, 16.
Loading the
loading shit. I actually did drive a forklift a bunch when I was in Iraq towards the end of the deployment. We had a forklift, and you just drive that little song gun everywhere.
Seems pretty fun.
It's very exciting and fun. It spins fast.
Yeah.
You move a lot of stuff.
James Stewart, he operated a forklift at one of his warehouse jobs. I don't know if he might have been undocumented, though. I don't think he was certified.
Undocumented forklift driver.
But there's guys that get really good at it. Have you ever seen them like pick up a quarter with the forklift? Like, they'll get up to a quarter, push down on one side, and cause it to stand up and flip back over onto the fork.
Oh, okay.
And then put it in like a coffee cup.
Really?
Yeah.
You get real good with it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Without Joe for the Gopher, we're just left to our devices to just delve into the darkest secrets of the country.
Yeah, Joe really, whatever he does, I don't know how he does it, but he just sways and uses his gopher magic to
really curate an environment of fun
topics.
and lightheartedness.
Because me and you, I'm having fun in these combos.
But
I'm just realizing the viewer, the poor listener, is just like, where's the laughter?
Talk?
Where's the poop talk? Where's that?
Well,
but we're getting so deep into it.
I'll change topics. Have you ever had anybody poop their pants at Sandbag Saturday, or express they might be pooping their pants? Because there's only one bathroom down there. It can get pretty backed up. It's not the greatest bathroom. It's got
it's pretty bad.
Swamp creatures grow like microcultures of prehistoric amphibians sprouting in there.
Yeah, it's bad. I feel really bad one time months ago. The toilet was just absolutely overflowing to the brim. I had Chipotle the night before. Sorry guys, I'm really sorry. I don't like talking. The funny thing is I don't like talking about poop. I have funny poop stories, but talking about it, I don't actually like.
It's what the people want, though.
Yeah. I don't think it's like, oh, poop, farts. But I do have the stories, though. Anyway, it's just to the brim, and people are just
adding to the
absolutely insane.
It's a community turd.
And I was one of those, I had to stand up and let it fly.
Ooh.
And just build
add to the mountain?
Add to the freaking pyramid. And then I think Chelsea was I'm pretty sure Chelsea, shout out Sandbag Saturday, Chelsea. Possibly getting a third hip surgery. Sorry about that. Just lost her appendix.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Haven't seen her in a while. She goes in after me, and she's like, did you do that to the bathroom? I swear, it was already like that. But, yeah, no, I've seen people. What's terrifying is it's summer now, and you just have these poor girls. And, if you're a guy and you're trying to freaking pee in the bathroom and you don't want to go in the water, I find that extremely
you need to pee in the water.
Suspectual of you. You need to go in the water and freaking piss yourself and then come back in.
Yeah.
Not wait in a line. But the poor girl, I get if you're a girl, you don't want to be frolicking around in the water. But they're just it's so long because now we're running the sandbags and we're having to scooch by people that are in line like a 10, 15-person line.
To build the pyramid.
Go number 1, 2, 3, or snort your cocaine, whatever people do in there. They're snorting cocaine.
Are they doing that?
That's what you say when you snort cocaine, but snorting cocaine.
Railing lines, I think.
Railing, yeah. Huffing powder. But, yeah. Anyway.
Riding the white pony.
The bathroom situation. I don't think anyone's pooped themselves. I've had, once again, that was me having to go really bad because it due to Chipotle. But
I saw a clip. When I get comfy here, I'm sorry to say it, but I like the full leg cross.
The leg cross?
Like this.
Why?
It's just comfy sometimes.
Really?
But I have a clip on repeat in my head that I saw of Adam Carolla saying that Macron and Gavin Newsom and any sort of what he thinks is a weak or soy boy leader, he's like, look at every clip of them. They're crossing their legs like a girl. So every time I do that, I hear Adam Carolla's voice and I have to not do it.
Crossing their legs like a girl. You'd be a good triangle choker in jiu-jitsu.
Because I can get my legs like this?
Yeah, they're long. They're beefy. They seem flexible.
I'd like to feel the rush of watching the life leave a man's eyes via triangle choke at least once in my life.
For me, it's not as exciting or nice is because during triangle chokes, I have such thick legs up high. You see my legs from here down, you're like, oh, those are not that big. It's massive up top.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to really lock it in. I have to really be in the perfect position. And then I'm squeezing, and it usually is hurting me when I'm doing it. I should get better at it. But as the person's tapping, I'm letting go usually because I'm this really hurts my ankle.
in training or in formal jiu-jitsu classes, have you ever gone to sleep? Has anyone before you could tap, or have you refused to tap?
In the military,
they
make you do this thing to where you're testing out chokes, and that was like happened like that. But in real training, I don't know. I've never fallen asleep.
You put
I've
people
taken it to the brim.
Yeah.
To the absolute brim, to where it's like you could see the lights like almost there, and I get out or I tap or something.
Did you see that the UFC's doing like a new jiu-jitsu league or something? Mushameshi's in it, I believe.
They're copying the CJI.
Yeah, they are.
Jones Invitational thing.
I saw a video of Dana walking like a bunch of guys, and I don't know if it's like an Ultimate Fighter style show they're doing or if it's just a league or whatever. But I think probably the Apex in Vegas, the UFC facility, they've got like a giant white bowl.
Yeah.
And the guys were all checking it out and stuff.
Craig Jones, I think, follow him. He's I think he posted like his patent thing for their CJI ring. And I don't know what he was meaning by it, being like, we didn't steal your patent because we made it into an oval, and his is like a box.
His is a square. And
his is it's a rectangle.
Yeah, but the
I don't know. I didn't read into it, but
the karate combat thing is like a box too.
Yeah, but the karate combat thing, I don't think you're doing jiu-jitsu. You're doing like what, karate?
But wouldn't the patent just be on the structure, not what it's used for?
I guess.
I don't know.
I didn't look into it that much, but the UFC is going to screw it up, whatever jiu-jitsu they do. I don't know. I just don't like... When I think of UFC, I never think that they're going to get jiu-jitsu right.
Probably not. Probably just
mean?
capitalizing on its popularity at the moment. What they really should do, because it's exciting and people watch, and people that don't train will watch, is like a kickboxing or even a Muay Thai faction of the UFC, where it's they sign guys and it's just stand up, K1 style or whatever, just kickboxing. Like how one has this, I guess you're spreading out your assets too wide or something, but
I mean the UFC's I think perfect the way it is.
Yeah.
I think they try to start jumping into other sports.
Dana's
Even
trying to do
jiu-jitsu, I see.
boxing
I'm like,
now.
this is just, it's not cool.
Yeah.
When you guys try to do it, like leave it to the ADCC and now Craig Jones and all those people to bring in the monies.
So
you probably get paid well for the UFC.
Yeah.
I'm sure you get paid good.
Off camera, we've got a couple stand-up paddle boards, or SUPs as they're called, and you were explaining to me how the Sandbag Saturdayers can expect a new aspect of their training coming very soon. You want to talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have a couple swimmers. Thanks for asking, Cole. Or as I call you, caulking something. A bunch of swimmers out there. I got Nico, Kiara, brother Joey, possibly Mackenzie. Can't remember if you mentioned it. They want to add swimming in there, so it won't be mandatory, obviously. So I don't want people dying that aren't good swimmers. But it'll be, maybe part of the workout. There'll be a swim section for the swimmers to add on to the workout, to where you swim out to a buoy, you'll swim back, do the sandbag workout. Maybe the beginning and the end you do that. And, we'll be adding in swimming. Mandatory fins. We have a paddle board.
Fins, interesting.
Mandatory fins, just so no one cramps out. Because people cramp during this workout, and the last thing I need is someone cramping out and not being able to swim. When you have fins on, it's damn near impossible to drown with fins. So,
if we have high surf days, are we going to cancel this portion? Are we going to be monitoring the meteorology of the whole situation?
I mean, high surf for me would have to be like 20 feet. So, just kidding. If it's a big day, I would just postpone it. Because we're going to need the lifeguard to be on the paddleboard during the workout around the buoy, making sure everyone makes it around the buoy, making sure no one needs help. I'm in search for a lifeguard. One of my buddies was a prior lifeguard. He's still in the SEAL teams. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. So if you guys are a lifeguard, you want to come help out, be there by the buoy, let me know.
Exciting.
Very exciting. Or you can be the lifeguard, Cole.
I was a lifeguard in my younger days, believe it or not. Sam Lark, Rancho Santa Margarita, local pools and beach club. One of my highest paying jobs, adjusted for inflation probably in my life. 16 an hour back when minimum wage was about $7.50.
Wow.
And I barely passed. I definitely wasn't qualified. But it was fun. I was exposed to drugs, sex, and rock and roll back in those lifeguard days. I didn't know what I was getting into, but rowdy bunch, doing marijuana in the parking lots. Not myself, but witnessing these things, thinking we were just, guardians of life, and really it was just about the party life. And subsequently, I made one of the only saves the summer of 2010 or whatever it would have been, 2009, at the beach club. Young man I saw just walking out a little too far, started bobbing, tracked him, got in there. It was only about a waist-high rescue for me, but pulled him out of there. And, I'm still in contact with him today. He thanked me at his graduation speech.
You're kidding.
No, I'm kidding.
Have we ever delve into your virginity yet?
Of what?
Virginity.
Sexual virginity?
Yes. What other kinds are there?
No, I'm
Is
curious.
that off limits? I just thought about it because you're just like sex, love, rock and roll, and then I was just like,
yeah, no sex as a lifeguard.
no, and then it made me think. I'm like, oh man, I don't know when. Yeah, you first.
I have a child. I have proof I've done it at least once. I guess twice because my wife's pregnant. But
I just don't know. I don't know the.
I barely
I
had
don't know the age, the who. I can't remember. But it's all good. I won't put you on the spot.
When I graduated high school, I barely had armpit hair. Puberty was a foreign concept to me. There was times where I thought I was just going to spend my life as Peter Pan as a boy, and that it just wasn't in the cards for me to develop some bone density and
nuts,
some pubis. But lo and behold, finally I did sprout wings. But yeah, I was scared of girls. I was kind of the clown, Life is not that easy as a clown for many.
I was kind of the clown.
The sad clown is a true trope. But
I thought you had GFs in high school.
I was kind of the GBF to a lot of girls.
Best friend?
Gay best friend.
Oh, got it.
I was the winter formal king. I don't know if you know that. My junior year winter formal king, elected by the student body. Joe for the Gopher.
He
was what? What was
prom king? I don't know.
Was he the prom king?
Yeah.
I think he might have lost, actually.
You might have lost one and then won one.
I think he lost to Drew Barreto.
It's crazy how you guys are just like the kings, man. Like you guys are just very cool, calm, collected, liked by the people, voted by the people.
15 years ago.
Yeah, but you've kept that up. You guys have, when you have like people that are popular and then you see them later and they're just like, what the flip are you now? You're just like a slop. You guys have kept your like coolness and like likability factor and just like made it into now a new dad thing. It's like you guys are like the cool dads.
Thank you for that.
You know what I mean? Well, yeah, that's why that's why we're doing the pod. And I just wasn't that way. You know what I mean?
Joey, I think, was the prom king. But he lost the Mangent to Drew Barreto, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which was
we've talked about this before.
A male talent show.
Yeah.
Which probably doesn't exist anymore because the gender binaries in the education system are
Not good.
Apropos now. I remember, and you do too probably. We had, I believe, my freshman and sophomore year, and then by junior year it had switched, but it was titled The Battle of the Sexes.
Yeah.
And it was a large assembly at the football stadium one day during lunch or something, where there was different events between men and women to prove who's the superior sex. And that's crazy to think of now.
You don't think they do that still in high school?
No, when I was in high school, it went away, and it turned into
really?
Battle of the grade
Another
levels.
FedEx.
It was like the juniors versus the seniors, and it was like Battle of the grade levels. It turned into.
Who do you think's behind this whole thing? Is this Russia? Is this Russia the 30-year plan, or is this
the gender dysphoria?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Pinning
know.
the women against men all of a sudden.
I don't
That's
know.
been going on for the past 10 years.
But it's probably. It seems like the hysteria around, LGBT stuff and trans stuff is not as heavy now. And have you heard that pretty crazy clip from Sam Tripoli? He was on Rogan like 2 years ago, a year ago or something.
Talking about it's going to be immigration
And
now. Nice.
I mean, people saying he predicted it, or but yeah, he said so all this stuff that we're in now, all this craziness about gender and trans rights and pride and all that stuff is going to start to go away. And around the election, which I guess we're not really around the election now, it's 6 months past, but still pretty close in his prediction. He's like, you're going to see immigration, protests and riots all over the country.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of, I don't want to say that's super crazy. It's kind of easy because when you have
a president campaigning on the fact that he's going to, deport everybody, it's makes sense.
And then it happens. It's like, yeah. Okay,
I guess it's not that crazy of a prediction.
Yeah. I'm not, what was I going to frickin' say? Gosh darn. I'm trying to get better at not cursing on this thing, so you don't get taken down.
The Battle of the Sexes at high school.
Battle of the Sexes, yes.
I remember
the women, yep.
Football players holding a football player, projecting to the stands of the whole student body, holding somebody by their legs, and then other meatheads coming through under the legs, pretending like
they're a baby.
They're being born, and the guy going ah, like taunting the women in the stands. I have that image in my head, and I can hear the "Make My Sandwich" chants that the whole male section of the crowd is chanting "Make My Sandwich," and the girls were saying like "Change my tire" or something noble and valiant that a man
nice.
would do. But I guess looking back, yeah, that was kind of crazy.
I wonder if I actually went to those types of events.
No, you were probably tardy or absent.
Blacked out. I don't remember any of them. If I did go, I was probably so nervous. Just how the hell
crowd
do I
setting,
get out of here? Sweating. Oh my gosh, that's wild. That sounds fun though. It
was fun. I remember it was fun, but looking back, it was just a cauldron for chaos and anger.
Chaos and anger. Imagine being a high school teacher and having to just shepherd these kids as they're slowly becoming into adult babies.
Yeah.
And
you've got the young men whose frontal cortexes are not fully formed and they're still in absolute primate brain. The fights, having to break up fights, the threats of people bringing weapons to school, all that stuff. It's a crazy environment. To be an employee of a high school, for sure. It's got to be crazy.
I don't know what kind of person it takes. Maybe they thrive in that sort of chaos.
And I can't even imagine it now with
like, why would you want to do that?
With vapes and TikTok and Lord knows what. It's probably so dystopian. It's probably so crazy.
And Zen. So many Zenners.
Yeah. My 8th grade principal sat
fidget
my
spinners.
8th grade fidget spinners. My 8th grade principal sat my 8th grade graduating class down, like days before the end of the last day of school, and told everyone, one, he was retiring next year, and two, this class out of my 30 years was the most disobedient, poorly behaved, highest suspensions, highest expulsions, like, and that was back then. I can't even
senior class, or like you're like,
yeah, he's like, this group of eighth graders.
Oh, eighth graders.
Like the last 2 years you guys were here, you were the worst group of people I've ever seen in my life. And I really pray for you going into high school that you'll course correct. It's kind of crazy. I remember it. Everyone's just sitting there, and we thought it was like a have a great summer thing, and he was just like, you guys are terrible.
Wow. You guys are terrible.
But I feel like kids are probably better behaved now, weirdly. I don't know. High school was, and junior high, there was a lot of...
I think COVID chilled out the freaking youngins.
I think it really did. There was a lot of pregnancies, a lot of like, I remember just seeing like, if I didn't see the fight, hearing about it, and then seeing like a blood trail on the concrete, you know, fist fights, drugs. It was crazy. Luckily, I didn't get involved, and I became a thespian and found my home on the stage. But.
Yeah, I remember there was like sections like I felt uncomfortable walking to. Like there was like the gang banging Mexican crew side. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna go sit on that bench. That's freaking crazy. There was like the gang banging like black bench over there.
The white scary goths.
And then the white freaking bros. I'm like, not gonna go over there. And there was like, it's just like bad, gnarly, like sketchy,
like
energy, like literally like a prison.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't been to prison, but I'm like, I remember being a kid and being like, this feels like I'm in a prison. Yeah. And, dude, sometimes I would just walk around, man. I'd walk around for 30 minutes, just walking circles.
Were you lonely?
Hell no.
You just wanted to get your blades on and soul skate?
I just wanted to get out of there, man. Just get me to soccer. Get me out of there. I don't want to talk. I don't want to freaking sit and do nothing. I just didn't want people to think I'm lonely. That was my thing.
Speaking of prisons, there's talks of reopening Alcatraz. That sounds pretty crazy, huh?
In San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Why not? I thought it was always been open.
No, it's been a museum for like 50
years. Oh, really?
Yeah.
No clue. You know what I was thinking about? Have we ever talked about our slumbers? We're getting close to an hour. Have we ever talked about our slumbers at 10th? And specifically the story of us naked around the fire? And can you recount? Because I don't think I've ever heard.
I'm going to omit to protect some identities, some aspects of the story.
Yeah, we can. We don't have to say who.
Well, this goes back.
Say, I want to hear what you think of that night, and then maybe those pieces that you might miss. Maybe.
This goes back to young men not having fully formed brains and acting like pure tribesmen, like Lord of the Flies.
Eat a little bit.
At the same beach that Sandbag Saturday occurs, there used to be a large retaining wall that was remaining from some sort of structure all the way at the end towards the cave that would shield you from the rest of the beach going.
We'll put a pick in.
Going north. And at night we would hop the fence with sleeping bags, a couple milk crates of broken up pallets, perhaps some hot dogs. And, you know,
we would roast hot dogs.
Yeah, hot dogs.
Dang, I forgot about that.
If we could get our hands on some beer, definitely some cigarettes.
Four Locos.
And go down behind the wall, start a little fire, maybe around 11 o'clock, and have a little camp out down there, and then wake up in the morning and be the first one on the beach, maybe one or two, like, joggers coming by, seeing a bunch of, like, homeless people, they probably thought it was. But there was one night where it was a male-dominated evening. We would have female guests at times, but it was males only. I don't really recall exactly who was there, but we were.
Are you sure we didn't have females there? Show up late? Yeah, we did have them show up late, right?
Maybe later. I don't remember. but everyone was in their birthday suit, naked, and we were doing some sort of tribal dance around the fire. Just, grounding, naked,
Finding
moonlight,
yourself.
just really connecting with our ancestors. And a strange, shadowy couple appeared from around the wall. And they were not... I think we talked about this.
Did we?
I think we did.
When?
Because I remember you saying that the guy was like fat and they didn't look like they belonged on the beach. I think we talked about it.
I don't think we did, man.
We're 12 pods in. We're already out of stories.
No, I don't think I don't think we did. I swear.
Okay.
I edit the dang thing.
Well, a couple appeared, probably, I don't know, 30s, 40s, and they were intoxicated on God knows what. And we saw them, and I remember screaming, "Ah!" and diving face down, holding my genitalia, like my euphoric connection with my ritualistic connection I was feeling one moment with my brothers, nude under the moonlight, was stripped away from me immediately, and I felt vulnerable, scared, alone. And these people, instead of being hostile, they were more curious and were like, "Oh, what's going on here?"
They say, "Oh, continue." No,
yeah, they're
continue.
like, "Keep going. No, we like it. We love it." And I think they maybe wanted to join, but we were so scared and freaked out by them that we were masking it with laughter. And they turned out to be sort of sexual deviants, some sort of sex freaks. And
the guy was a sex freak. The girl, I think, was a prostitute.
Okay.
That he had met in Vegas.
Okay.
And then he brought her there to that beach. Who knows why at that night,
maybe
at that time, maybe to kill her. Maybe we saved her. With his two daughters.
Oh,
who were 16 and 18.
And they're like, "Yeah, my kids are like," they were down the beach. They weren't with them.
They were either 18 and 20 or 16 and 18. I cannot remember.
That was weird.
But there was a younger one, and then there was one like our age. Because we were, like 19?
But they were not present when the people
They
appeared.
weren't present. They were down the beach.
Yeah.
But after everything happened, like Joey and some of the other guys went to go find them, the girls.
Yeah.
I think they felt bad that their parents were
obviously
psychopaths.
Wasted, yeah.
And they were normal, I think. Normal kids.
Yeah.
No, it was their dad, and he was with that prostitute lady. So they were walking the beach with their dad, and
yeah, that was weird. That was maybe the moment my innocence was stripped of me for the rest of my life.
And then he had a micro penis for sure.
Yeah, because he tried to.
Well, the people. I mean, I don't know what you're allowed to say on podcasts now, because now that I do this whole editing, like clicking off the boxes of like, is this allowed to be monetized and stuff? I'm like, is it inappropriate content? I don't know. I can't. I have to go back and listen to other podcasts and other podcasts. Freaking dumb. No, she started.
They went around
They started rubbing him off. And
we're like, whoa.
His Wang Chung was so small. Mind you, we're 18, 19 years old, naked around a fire, holding ourselves as this 40-year-old.
I think the clothes were probably back on because we were so scared at that point.
Either back on or someone was hiding around rocks, and she started like. You barely see anything because it's dark and the fire's going out, and you just see these little hands rubbing, and like I can't, like his wiener was like
they invaded our space.
I think a half inch.
They invaded our space.
And they invaded our space,
and I think
and started performing in front of us being poor 18, 19-year-olds.
We got them to leave or something.
Half of the dudes left. A couple half stayed, and I was like, "What the hell's going on here?" And
this is exactly why Joe for the Gopher
this is why
is trepidatious about TTTPG.
It's like the images I keep going back. It's just like it's like a dream.
It was a loss of innocence.
And I'm like, I can't remember when we told them to leave, or maybe like we. It
was kind of like the I think we were like, get out of here.
I remember thinking this is hilarious, You know, I never felt a threat, like they were gonna do anything. I was more like, this is freaking hilarious. These people are crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I want crazy. Like, this is why we come to the beach for these stories.
But now when I'm thinking back of those times at the beach down there,
that's four little brains.
That's kind of the last one that I recall, maybe, and it's like the end of The Sandlot where they're throwing the ball and they all start to fade away and disappear.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, we had some great ones after that. I think it hyped us up.
Yeah, that was scary and weird, but funny in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Great times. Surfing naked in the morning.
Surfing in the nude. Swimming nude is being nude in the ocean is really a liberating feeling.
Absolutely freeing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
Pooping, number twoing in the water is actually pretty cool. Feels great.
I can't say I haven't number two'd in the water before.
It's great. Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think so. When I was in Buds, we used to have to do that all the time.
Oh, yeah. Neighbors saying bye. All right. Well, that's pretty close. That's about an hour.
That's it. Not for the day.
Yeah. Did I ruin it on the last story?
No. It's we didn't do anything wrong. We were having a good time with our friends, and some people from Las Vegas decided to claim that land to do sex acts,
fruit acts,
and be freaks, and that's not cool.
Yeah. Especially
if you see something, say something. We probably should have reported that or called the police. But we were also breaking the law, having a fire on the beach and everything else. So
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't realize you were that hurt by that situation.
Me?
Yeah, you seem hurt.
No, not hurt, but it was funny when we were young. But now that I'm an adult, like, those people didn't know if we were 18 or 16 or
that's a good point.
That's like some freaky criminal weirdo stuff to be doing.
That is very freaky. Yeah, that's not good. And now we need to find them, and we need to
John Wick them.
Yeah, John Wick them. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully we'll get Joe for Gopher back. He's probably in his little den right now, his little gopher den.
Burrowing.
Drop a comment for what guests you guys want, what type of guests you guys want. Just choked on an apple bit. But we'll bring it back to once a week, Wednesdays, 11 a.m. You guys know the deal. Cole, any final thoughts?
Stay safe out there. Keep your family close. Love, peace, bacon grease. That's it.
One last thing, we didn't go into my women update and my search for a wife. I feel like that's a thing we do on this podcast.
You have something to share?
Things I share about finding out stories. Haven't been on really. We're ending it and I'm going to. No, 0 stories of that. So
okay, good.
Let's just end it on
Great.
that. All right, later.
Loser.